Hey, I'm Reagan Ram with Orpheus Audio Academy, and technique number 1 is the VU meter technique to get the volume levels balanced correctly between your bass and kick. And this, I believe, was originally pioneered by Jakir King. So go to our bass or our mix bus or our stereo out, and we throw on some kind of VU meter. Now I'm using the Waves VU meter here just because that's what I have, but you can use a free one like the MV Meter 2. I'll have that linked in the description below. And so what we're looking at here is a volume meter, which is different than like the digital meter that you have here in your DAW. So if we are on the kick here, it's set to be, I have a headroom of 18. So 18 would be minus 18 on your meter over here would be what 0 is on this meter. And so to kind of get a good volume balance, we are going to set it so that we want our kick's volume level to hit at around 3 here. So it's a little loud, so we're going to pull the kick back a bit. So it's okay if it goes a little bit above or below. We just kind of want an average. Something like right there. And then we want so that when we bring the bass in, it averages right around 0 there. Boost up the bass a tad. Now it's kind of hard because my bass is moving around a lot on this track, but that's probably about good right there. So now we know we have a good volume balance between our kick and bass, and that's just kind of a starting point, right? You might find you need to adjust your volume because every track is different, so don't like strictly stick to that, right? Use your ears, make sure that you adjust as needed as you go through. And so that can be a good foundation that we can then build in and bring in the rest of the tracks and balance those around our kick and bass. And then now, speaking of mixing, be sure to grab my free mixing checklist in the description below. This includes some really handy cheat sheets on how to go about EQing all of your various instruments, what frequencies you want to look at boosting and cutting, as well as how to go about compressing all of your most important instruments, like what attack and release settings to use and so on, including a full step-by-step mixing system workflow that you can follow each and every time to finish more music faster and have it be the best quality music possible. So if you want to grab this free mixing checklist, just click in the description below or go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/mixing checklist. All right, so technique number 2 is to high pass basically everything that doesn't need to have any bass frequencies in them. So for example, I have my rhythm track bus here, and we can see I got this high pass filter here cutting out all the lows. Same thing for my ARPs, same thing for my leads. So anything that doesn't need it, we're cutting everything from around like 200 to 100 to 200 and below. And so the trick with this is we want to kind of remove stuff that we can't really hear. So if we go to our rhythm section here, so if we move this, we're not really hearing any difference. It still basically sounds the same. So now we're changing the character. So we want to, once we start changing the character, we just kind of back off. And so it might not look like there's anything down here, but if we turn this off, let's pull up the C6 here. So we're cutting everything from basically 150-ish. That's basically what we got here. Like 120, so like that. So if we solo this band, we can hear there's still a lot of low end energy there. And so when we add compression, when we add limiting, it's going to be bringing up that kind of just muddy, indistinct noise, and it's going to clutter up our low end and compete with our kick drum and our bass, which is what we want to take up that end. So we want to clear that out so we make room for those, and that'll be much more distinct and clear and tight, which leads to a much better sounding low end. So what this sounds like with these all turned off now. not really hearing much of a difference there audibly, but it's definitely going to make a difference when we go about applying all of our processing on our mix bus. So if we were to like apply some of this now. So listen really closely, but it does clear up that low end just a slight bit there. Now, before I move on to the third and final technique, if you found this video helpful before I move on to the third and final technique, which is probably the best one for getting your bass and your kick to merge and blend together. If you found this video helpful so far, go ahead and hit that like button and click subscribe so I know to create more content like this. All right, so technique number 3 is to use some sidechain compression, but not the typical sidechain compression that you've probably heard of. All right, you have the typical sidechain compression where you're ducking the entire volume of the bass when the kick comes in. It can sound like this. So you can hear every time the kick comes in, the bass is getting turned down. But that's a little bit too noticeable. It can create a little like a pumping motion, which is cool for certain genres of music. But if you're not wanting something like that and you just want the bass and the kick to sound coherent together, then instead what we can do on the bass is we could put on some sidechain compression, but we're only going to compress certain frequencies. So I'm using a free tool here called Nova by Tokyo Dawn Recordings, I think it is, TDR. And so I've got right here set up where the fundamental of the kick drum is. And so right here, this is where the fundamental of the kick drum is. And then I'm coming up here and doing sidechain and I'm selecting the kick drum. So now it's looking to the output of the kick drum to trigger the compressor here, which is a multi-band compressor. And so then for this one to work, we just want to come up here and choose external sidechain right here. Normally it's internal, but we're going to do external sidechain. And so that will make it so that the kick is triggering this. And then we turn on the band here, make sure the actual compressor is turned on, because you can use it just as an EQ or as an EQ and compressor. So we got the compressor turned on, and then we're just going to pull the threshold back. So now the kick is triggering that frequency range, and now that frequency is getting turned down according to the kick drum. We can increase the release if we want it open longer. You can see it's open a long time. But we don't want that. We want it to about close in time with each hit. Then you can just adjust the attack and release here to be as fast or slow as you want, how quickly you want it to like react to the kick drum. So that's pretty good. And then I'm put another one on over here, and this is at around 4,000 hertz. So we're also going to duck the bass here to help the top end like click of the drum come through. Now, I don't think I know how to do this with Nova, but with this F6, we can do the same thing. I got the same kind of controls here, but now I'm going to do upward compression. So it's like expansion, where we're actually boosting these frequencies here in the middle on the bass when the kick hits, so that to compensate for the lost volume that we're losing from the bass here, we're going to boost these mids here. And so I'm trying to do the same thing as I did with Nova. I'm just doing it with this premium one now, because I don't know any free ones that allow me to do this technique here. So we turn the kick off. You're getting that little like clicky, whippy kind of sound in the middle there. Wow. And you're hearing that low end dip as well. Very subtle. So again, you can adjust this to taste and what you want, but without it in, and with it in. So it's almost imperceptible what it's doing. It's very hard to hear, but to my ears, just before and after, the difference is just before the bass is the kick drum is a little bit hidden. After, you just hear the bass drum more clearly. So now we have a much nicer balance between our bass and our kick drum. Now, speaking of kick drum, if you want to know how to take it from sounding like this to sounding like this, nice and big and tight and punchy, then check out my video on the screen right now, which will break down how to go about mixing your kick drum, how to add EQ, compression, and more to make it sound amazing and really punch through your mix. So check out that video now.